The Song of Solomon is one of the most beautiful illustrations of God's love, and clearly the most erotic book of the Bible. The text describes two lovers who are nothing but deeply in love. Your love is better than wine, it says. For someone who loves a good cocktail or glass of wine, I get it. That kind of love is inebriating. Nothing compares. Your name is perfume poured out, it continues. Draw me after you. Let's make haste. The king has brought me into his chambers. This is what God's love is like. Inebriating, sensual, intimate. We frequently describe God's love as agape, but God's love encompasses all forms of love, eros included. Eros was the Greek god of love, and the name comes from a word that means desire. That's a key principle of Ignatian spirituality. Desire drives everything. It's what moves a contemplative to action. It's what moves a heart to express love. There's a physicality to it, an almost sacramental effect. And isn't a sacrament an outward sign of an inward grace? Eros, of course, is not just a desire for sex, but a desire for the whole person, a deep intimacy. Ignatius speaks of wishing to share in all aspects of Christ's experience, in his joys and his sorrows. Eros says, I'd rather be sick and poor with you than healthy and rich without you. In the Ignatian tradition, we're always reflecting on the fullness of our response to God's love. How deep is that intimacy? Catholics speak of the Eucharist as a literal union with Christ's body. What could be more erotic? C.S. Lewis famously wrote about Eros in his book, The Four Loves. He speaks of a man who is just preoccupied with Eros, preoccupied with a woman that he is in love with. Sex may be a part of the package, so to speak, but Lewis says the fact that she is a woman is far less important than the fact that she is herself. If you asked him what he wanted, the true reply would often be to go on thinking of her. Imagine God with that desire for you, desiring you, loving that you're you, and just wishing to go on thinking of you. This is what God's love is like. In the Song of Songs, one lover says to the other, draw me after you. Ignatian writer Margaret Silf describes God as one who draws us into a friendship. In other words, there's something alluring about the divine relationship, something captivating about God, about Jesus. This kind of love does not force you in. It invites. It draws you in. And isn't Advent a drawing near to our beloved? Now, the Song of Songs speaks about intimacy at its most ideal. But for some, just sharing feelings with others can feel frightening, and even sharing them with God. As Richard Rohr says, the opposite of intimacy is a closing up, being imprisoned in a small and circumscribed world. Advent calls each of us to open up any enclosures around us that inhibit our intimacy with God and neighbor. Rohr gives us a bold reminder. Soulful intimacy is a gateway into the sacred realm of human and divine love. So let's be drawn through this gateway of intimacy this Advent and be drawn closer to the one who draws us, God, who never wishes to stop thinking of us.